Magic the Amateuring, where I'm tired and Megan's tired, but we're both tired for different reasons.
That's right. Maria, why are you tired?
I'm tired because I'm severely jet-lagged here in Japan. Beautiful Kyoto, Japan. Megan, why are you tired?
I'm tired because, like a mundane human being, I had to wake up in my own bed at 7:45 this morning.
Oh, 7:45 there equals 10-something or 9:45 p.m. here.
9:45 there. Oh my. I'm tired.
Do you know I'm in the future?
You are in the future.
I could tell you what's going to happen in the future, Megan, but I don't want to taint the timeline.
Ugh. I don't know if I want to know.
Yeah, some of it's like, I'm going to just give you a little tiny spoiler.
Okay.
Let me just put a few words out there. Robot overlords. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil anything, but just...
I feel like in terms of words that you could have chosen to say, those are some pretty loaded ones.
I mean, I feel like I didn't say what happened with the robot overlords. I didn't say who won. I didn't say how many millions / billions died in the robot wars, which are impending. I didn't talk about the goo falling from the sky or the rats rising up from the sewer to once again claim their rightful spot at the right side of the robo-gods. I didn't say any of that.
Wow. And for a second, I thought, if I was going to write the way that this battle fell out, it would be that the humans and the robots spent forever fighting.
Yeah.
Or not that long, really, depending on how overpowered we were by their technological advances. And then the rats rose up and beat the robots who had already beaten us.
Yeah. That's funny that you would say that, because that's what I also thought would happen, but it did not. I mean...
That's really surprising to me. I mean, why would you want to be the right hand of the robot overlords if you could just be the rat overlords?
Great question. That might be their long game. I could tell you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because there's still a fiery blood war happening outside my window right now that's coming your way.
Wow. All right. I mean, a lot to look forward to. I guess I'm really going to live it up today.
Yeah. That would be my advice.
I'm just going to skip that doctor's appointment that I have. That seems pretty useless.
No, take a few roller coasters out for a spin is really, really what I would say.
Oh my gosh. If I were going to live it up, roller coasters are like the last thing on my list.
What's the first thing?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, what are the limitations on what I can and cannot do?
You can do anything that's, humanly possible to do.
Do I have financial limitations, or we're assuming that this is one of those, you've only got 24 hours, so I spend money as though it's no object?
Correct, because no credit card company is going to be calling you to pay your bill.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm going to have to think about this.
Is one of your answers drawing all of the cards with, what did you say, Vizier
of the Anointed. Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
I guess, the mundane answer is that I probably, go to Texas and see my family, but... Yeah.
But on the way, in the jet plane, you're drawing all the cards.
Yeah, exactly. I'm drafting and drawing all the cards. Embalming things with Vizier of the Anointed in play.
Speaking of drawing all the cards, we are a magic podcast.
Yeah, yes we are. We're a Magic the Gathering podcast called Magic the Amateuring. I'm one of your hosts, Megan.
And I'm one of your hosts, Maria. And the reason I'm in Japan is that the Pro Tour is coming up here in just a few days in lovely Kyoto, Japan. And we're getting ready for it. It's going to be the throwdown of the century, or not, but it's probably going to be pretty cool. And, I'm going to fight alone against the robot lords. But besides all of that...
and the rats. Don't forget the rats.
Yes, and the rats. Besides all that, we're going to talk to you about magic today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Enjoy today, including this podcast.
That's right.
We're going to talk to you about, speaking of the Pro Tour, what you can expect coming up. We've got some predictions of what decks you might see in Standard coming at you. There's been some sweet stuff on, people have been winning PPTQs on Moto. Oh man, these decks are cool. So I'm pretty excited what we've got coming down the pike. for that. And we just had a great big Grand Prix weekend here in Kyoto and in Toronto, limited, sealed, and draft. So we're going to do a kind of a recap of that, which is going to be pretty sweet. And we got yeah, go ahead.
We're going to talk some sweet news from SDCC, the San Diego Comic-Con. We got a lot of news about Unstable.
Yes, I'm so excited. What we saw really, really got my gears grinding, which is usually a negative thing, but in this case, they're properly lubricated, so like it's fine.
Wait, I think that if your gears are properly oiled, then they don't grind.
Oh yeah, that's accurate. That is accurate.
So like maybe your gears were grinding and this oiled them.
Yeah, now my gears are oiled up and ready to go.
Exactly. That's where the phrase "man, that really oils my gears, baby" comes from.
Oh, man. I hope I never hear that in real life.
I would be upset if I did.
But before we talk about any of this awesome stuff, we're going to thank some people. First and foremost, you, yes, you, who's got this coming into their ear megaphones at this moment. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for listening, and especially if you are supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/MTAcast. Thank you so much for keeping the podcast alive and well. It truly would not be possible without you.
If you want to become a member of our show, just go to patreon.com/MTAcast and choose from the reward level that works best for you. It's like NPR, but honestly, with sweeter rewards. And you get to join our lovely Patreon and Discord chat family. So head on over there today and just make our day.
How many tote bags do you need?
Exactly.
But how many magnetic poetry sets do you need?
I definitely need an MTA one, that's for sure.
Yes. Because
where else am I getting a magnet that says Steve and Steve on it?
That's right. Or, let's see, what's... What is it? Welsh sloth scandal?
Oh yeah, the Welsh sloth scandal.
Yeah.
You can be in on all our inside jokes. And a big thank you, of course, to cardkingdom.com/MTAcast. Please use our affiliate link if you're heading over there to buy any singles. After the Pro Tour, you see some sweet decks that you want to bring perhaps to your local PPTQ, to your FNM, to your kitchen table. They're definitely the best place to buy Magic cards. We mentioned on the show last week, Megan talked about it, how I had ordered cards way too late for a modern PPTQ that I was going to play that weekend. And guess what? Yeah. They got there in time. I was literally shocked. Not literally, figurative. I was figuratively shocked.
They literally arrived and zapped you.
Yeah. To be fair,
aren't you surprised?
I mean, I did open my metal mailbox in a lightning storm, so... shouldn't have done that. That was dangerous.
That's how you got the superpowers that you need to fight the robot overlords.
Good point.
It's your lightning mailbox woman.
What a crappy way to get superpowers. I guess I can't complain. I can now shoot bolts out of my toes. But yeah, cardkingdom.com/MTAcast. Go over there. They're our recommendation, and they're just great people. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. So let's start the show.
Wait, we didn't already?
Oh, okay. Let's start. Let's keep it going. Hour of Devastation Limited talk.
That's right. Man, there were a lot of GPs this weekend.
Yeah, there were.
By which I mean...
Two. That's more than one.
It certainly is.
And they were in Kyoto here in Japan and Toronto up there in the land we call Canada. And we were doing some sealed deck and draft. And if you've got local PPTQs coming up, or if you just like to go to draft night at your LGS or whatever, these are good tips that you can take along with you to kind of rise above the rest when it comes to playing Hour of Devastation Limited. So,
yeah,
Megan, you mentioned watching some of the Kyoto coverage. And
yes, I did.
What was kind of some takeaways for you? Because it's the first time we've seen Hour of Devastation really on a big stage.
Do you know what I really noticed? Especially towards the end of the day, like, there was a lot of Grixis.
Yeah.
running around. And not only was there, like, there was a lot of Grixis, but there was a lot of 3-color in general.
Agree.
Like, I don't know that I saw many, I think I definitely saw more players playing 3 or even 4 colors than I saw playing 2.
Oh, absolutely. It was everywhere. Did you see that insane deck? I can't remember who was playing it, but Overwhelming Splendor was a card that got cast in it, and it was definitely not only white, it was also blue, it was also green, and it was also red.
What? I did not see that.
Oh, man.
I mean, I think, I want to say Martin Yuzo was playing like a 5-color deck, and I did see that.
Yeah.
But I didn't see Overwhelming Splendor.
Oh, that was an insane game. It wasn't shown on camera. I think the second game was shown on camera or something like that. It was between Huey and this other person who had that insane deck. And Huey had a deck that was playing God Pharaoh's Gift and was just recurring stuff from the graveyard and smashing face, but his opponent had Overwhelming Splendors, thus shrinking his 4/4s that were coming back down into 1/1s, and he had a creature enchanted with compulsory rest. And what I believe happened is that his opponent didn't realize that he was going to be able to sack that creature at the end of the turn and then bring it back with Overwhelming Splendor, with God Pharaoh's Gift, and then attack for the 1 point of lethal damage that he needed to win. It was an epic game. But takeaway is you can play multiple colors. Like, Amonkhet was super fast, and I don't think our Devastation, it can be fast, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, and I think, we've just talked about people playing, lots of 7 and even 8 mana cards hitting the table quite a bit. Yeah,
that was kind of like one of the overarching stories for me was that you can play that stuff now. Like, you don't have to be worried. You have to be a little worried, but not insanely worried.
As long as you've got a good curve and other stuff to do, it's going to be all right.
And that Oasis Naturalist, is it the 2/4 that taps? For one
or exerts for 2.
Yeah. Oof. That card I saw was the target of so many kill spells, not because it's going to attack for any kind of damage, but because it's going to allow whoever is casting it to cast their frickin' Sifter Worm 2 turns early or whatever.
Yeah, everybody needs a turn 5 Sifter Worm,
Oh man, Sifter Worm. Just OP. Just OP.
Yeah. Good card.
I'm going to tell you a sweet story that I saw happen. So, the victor, by the way, of Grand Prix Kyoto was William Jensen, a.k.a. Huey, which is a back-to-back victory for him because his team, Peach Garden Oath, just recently won a team GP, which is, crazy. And the winner of Toronto was Robert Anderson, who's actually from Canada, so that's kind of cool. But I saw Huey win he drafted a green-black deck, and I sat down next to him. I was doing life totals, and I was like, how's your deck? And he was like, average. Just kind of unexciting or whatever. But his play the whole weekend impressed me to no end. And this one play I want to talk about in particular was really cool. So he was playing against a Locust God. And he was playing green-black, as I mentioned. And he's kind of sitting there like, what am I going to do about this Locust God? How on earth do I kill it? I don't have any outright way in my hand to kill it. And I could see somehow an idea come to him. He had a Ruin Rat, which he was able to play. And he also drew Destined to Lead. So what he did was have his Ruin Rat get Destined to Lead. The Locust God has to block it. When it goes to the graveyard, Ruin Rat exiles it. It was
nice.
It was pretty badass. And he was also playing against John Finkel, who made the top 8 for the first time in a century, Megan. A century.
Wow. The century?
Because, he's made some Team GP top 8s this century, which is a really weird thing to say, but...
and he's made some Pro Tour top 8s this century.
Yes, he has. But no individual GP until this weekend, so that was kind of neat to see him back kind of at the top again. But he was playing Huey in, I believe, the semifinals. Yeah, the semifinals, and Huey was making, a bazillion insects with his nest of scarabs and his Archfiend of Ifnir. Oh man.
Oh wow. That sounds like a sick combo.
But that brings me to another all-star of the weekend, which was the River Hoopoe.
Oh, river hoopoe. I saw someone lose to a river hoopoe.
Like, literally, that is the card they're losing to. It's a 1/3.
Yeah.
But, like, if you let it live, you, like...
They just draw so many cards and gain so much life, and that's all that happens.
You just can't beat it. I saw it happen. That was also a semifinal game, the Finkel HOU game, and HOU just declined to kill the hoopoe when he did have actually a chance to kill it and killed something else instead. And the hoopoe came back and single-handedly turned the game around for Finkel.
Let that be a lesson to everyone. You don't mess around with the river hoopoe.
Oh no, you don't mess around with that hoopty.
That bird means serious business.
It lives by a blood river, okay? Just
gosh.
saying.
It really does.
Okay, I've got 2 more quick sweet stories of things that I witnessed that you might want to try out if you want back at home. Number 1 is we did try to draft the Frank Sanity deck, and we talked about it last episode. And we got to watch it in action, legitimately win a round of Magic, and that was in the hands of Brock Parker, who had not 1 but 2 copies of Frank Sanity in his deck.
We got to watch it win a round of Magic.
Was it good? I don't know. At the time, he was 8-3 or something like that, so he was already out, but it was kind of cool to see the deck actually go off. And thing number 2 was something I hadn't even realized you could do, and we all know the card, or maybe we should, or maybe we shouldn't, Leave to Chance, which is the red-white Aftermath card.
Oh, I was about to talk about this when we were talking about weird things that had happened, because I didn't see it on the list. Yeah, the one where it's like the red half you can return any number of permanents to your hand. Yeah. Or that's the white half, right?
The white half.
Yeah, so leave is the white half, where you return any number of permanents to your hand. That you own to your hand for 1 and a white instant. And then Chance is the Aftermath half. Discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards.
Yeah.
So this is like and then you have the cards that get pumped by discard. So the idea being that you return just, you have like the unblockable one, the 1/3 that gets +1/+0.
Yeah, Cunning Survivor.
And can't be blocked, or this Shadow Mate, or like what is it?
Shadowstorm Vizier.
Shadowstorm Vizier. Yeah, so this is like already a 4-color deck. Because we're talking about these cards, but you have those in play and they get pumped by this, and they're more difficult to block. So you just like get 10 triggers on each of those and 20 somebody.
Did you watch this happen?
No, but I saw a screenshot of it.
Oh my god. It was incredible. And immediately after, BDM was like, this is all I'm living for, is making this happen in my own life. And sure enough...
He made it happen. That's where I saw the screenshot.
Yep. Sure enough, the next day, there it was.
Yep.
Oh, this is like so sweet. I love when people... Because Leave to Chance is a card where like, this card is so stupid. Why would you ever play this card? And then you're like, oh, wait, somebody figured out a really cool way to abuse it.
I can't believe that this didn't make the list of our worst cards.
You know what?
Our worst rares.
I don't know how it didn't either.
Like, how did this not make it? I don't remember even seeing this card.
Is it a rare, though?
It is a rare.
Oh, man.
At least that's what it says on Scryfall.
We missed the boat on that one. That should definitely have been one top 10
worst.
It
really should have been. Here's your rare. 1 and a white. Return any number of permanents to your hand.
Maybe it was because we somehow deep down knew that it would be awesome with just a few very corner case cards.
That as long as you're playing at least blue, and probably blue-black as well as white-red, it's going to be sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. Just watching all this limited this weekend made me really want to play some more because Hour of Devastation, like, I think is a really sweet limited set. It's good for draft because, like we have just been talking about, you can do all these super sweet things. You have time to do it. Aggro strategies are still viable. I saw people get aggroed out. You can... I don't know. It just seems like a pretty good format overall. Is that how you've been experiencing it?
I've had a really good time playing it so far. So I've been playing some Sealed the last couple of days. Maria knows this, but I was in very rural Colorado for a week, which was great, but it also meant that I could not play Magic for a week, so I got back and immediately was like, how many different formats and how many different games can I jam right now?
Yep.
So I've been playing Sealed and then also Standard. Anyways, so like, what I've noticed is that, like, my most recent deck I opened, and I don't remember what my rares were, but they were, like, largely unplayable.
Yeah.
And so I ended up with this blue-white deck that's it was very much about, like, Embalm and Eternalize synergies. And, like, it just isn't enough to have just a synergistic deck.
You need power.
Yeah, you need some amount of power because there was one game where my opponent had Crested Sunmare, Archfiend of Ifnir, and Overwhelming Splendor.
Okay.
And I was playing 2 Countervailing Winds in my deck, which I'm much higher on cards like that now, actually.
Yeah.
I think. Like that, like Supreme Will, Countervailing Winds, Essence Scatter even.
Yeah, you have time, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have time to play that stuff. But, like, against that deck, it's just, like, I would be able to deal with 2, and then the third one would always get me.
Yeah. The third whatever huge, enormous, fat spell they have.
Yeah, the third mythic that they played would always get me.
Yeah.
And so, like, even though I was, like, drawing a bunch of cards and, like, had a lot of flyers and evasion, it just, like, wasn't enough.
So, are you going to be playing in Sealed PPTQ this weekend?
You know what? I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
No, there won't be anything this weekend because it's the PT, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
But there is some coming up. Mostly I'm trying to decide if I should play another standard GP or if I should try to play a limited GP.
Yeah.
So, which I don't know yet. I don't know.
Everybody send in your votes to which event Meghan should play.
That's right. Do you know what I'm noticing right now? Sorry, this is just like a small thing. So I was looking up Leave to Chance on Scryfall, and there's like a little rotate button underneath the card image so that you can rotate the card and read the aftermath side without having to, like, look at it sideways.
Everyone, Scryfall.com is the real deal. Go there for searching your Magic cards if you haven't been there yet. It's so wonderful.
It's so delightful. And this, we
rotate.
We like it. Boop. We know the people who make it.
Yeah, and they made us by the way, every time a cutest card is crowned, it is updated in Scryfall. There is search criteria to find our cutest cards. Just FYI.
That's right.
Anyway, so yeah, Our Devastation, congrats to whoever made this set happen because I am, as McDonald's would say, loving it.
Why?
I think I have it on the mind because I had McDonald's for dinner tonight because I was just about losing my damn mind eating nothing but fish. Pro Tour Preview. It's time to talk about the PT.
That's right, everybody. This weekend, you can tune in to twitch.tv/magic and watch all of the sick Pro Tour coverage that's going to be coming your way, all the way from Japan.
That's right. We're going to have the best players in the universe, in the actual universe, sitting down to battle it out.
Maria, we do not know how good the Magic players on other inhabitable worlds are.
I mean, I'm just making a guess. Perhaps they know, perhaps they've heard about Magic and they're all secretly, like, playing it, and they're gonna, when they invade, they're going to just throw down.
Yeah. Or, like, I was thinking, like, maybe they have a Magic equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not that they're playing the exact same game right now, but if they were to pick up Magic, like, they would be very good at it.
That's a good point. They probably have some kind of variant if their life is based in any way off of the, the same building blocks that our life is. They've probably come up with something.
Eventually you hit a point in the evolution of your species where you develop Magic or an equivalent game.
That's exactly right. All right, I recall my statement. The best Magic players in the world have gathered here.
There we go.
In Kyoto, Japan, to compete for the title of Pro Tour champion, the last Pro Tour of the season, which means a lot of big races are actually on the line. Everything comes down to this, which is a really dramatic phrase, but it's actually true in this instance.
Everything comes down to this.
We're going to see how the pros are approaching the draft format even more intimately than we saw at Kyoto. Intimately, yes, I use that word. And perhaps even more excitingly, we're going to see how the standard environment has evolved since we had Marvel banned, since we got brand new Hour of Devastation cards. It's going to be pretty awesome. So
it's going to be great.
Let's just talk briefly about what is kind of on the line, like we mentioned, for some people with this Pro Tour, because Pro Tours can be kind of confusing if you are a newer Magic player, or even if you're not all that new. But there's 4 big ones in a season, and this one's the end of the line, which is the last chance to get these points to qualify for bigger tournaments like the World Championship.
Like the only bigger tournament.
Yeah.
The World Championship.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of slots that you can qualify for, a bunch of different ways, and one of them is by winning a Pro Tour. So we've already got 3 people slated for that. You could win a Magic Online Championship. Somebody did that.
Yep.
Josh Utterlein. You can be the top pro point earner in North America, South America, Asia, or Europe.
Yeah. There are a couple of slots for those depending.
Yes. And then, go ahead.
You can be the player of the freaking year, which is what it says on the plaque on the trophy that they give you. Player of the freaking year, which is currently led by Marcio Carvalho.
Yeah, so just a lot of different races. Like you can be the draft master and
that's
qualify,
right.
Meaning you're the best at draft in the world. This year.
You can be the standard master. Yeah. Or you can, this is also the conclusion of the first season of the Pro Tour Team Series.
Yeah.
So we're going to see 2 teams that are both going to be going to the World Championship, but to compete only against each other.
Yeah.
For the team title. For the very first Pro Tour team title.
It's really cool. You are here witnessing Magic history because never before have 2 teams competed for the title of Pro Tour Team Champion. And let's get real. One of them's going to be Team Musashi.
Are they just so far ahead?
They are so far ahead. They're, I think, some 20-something points in the lead, which is not, it sounds like kind of a small number, but it is really not that small of a number. All of their players are freaking good.
Yeah, I believe it.
Team Musashi is the team to beat. Watch the PT this weekend for more info on this, but Team Genesis is in second, and so they're going to try and hold that position unless some other team can creep up there and battle it out.
And get them.
So, all of these different races, many of which qualify you for the World Championship, some of which qualify you for Magic World. Wow. The phraseology here is going to break my brain, okay? Because there's a World Championship. And
then there's the World Magic Cup.
World Magic Cup.
Yes. And the World Magic Cup, if you are the top pro point earner from your country, then you are the captain.
Yes. And then the other 2 team members, there's 3-person teams, come from the winners of nationals. So that's a different tournament, which people are trying to earn their captaincy, quote unquote, here at the Pro Tour for their country.
Absolutely.
Exciting. So, just a whole bunch of different stuff. Meanwhile, there's also just the Pro Tour itself happening. And I'm ready to see some, pretty cool new standard decks. I don't know about you, Megan.
Yeah, I certainly am. First among them, perhaps, this blue-white God Pharaoh's gift deck that came out of a recent PTQ on Magic Online.
Yeah, this deck is so cool. I think it was a tweet, I'm not sure what, somebody saying that they could not find any Angel of Inventions here in Japan.
Yeah, apparently the numbers, or the prices on this Angel of Invention, I mean, it's still not, sky high for a mythic, but it went from, change
Yeah.
to $3 each.
Yeah. And this deck looks pretty neat. You have been talking to our friend who's been playing this deck, Megan.
Yes.
Do you know what this deck's deal is?
So, basically the way this deck functions is that you are trying to put a bunch of cards into your graveyard, whether you're doing that with, of all things, Minister of Inquiries, which you use to mill yourself, or you're doing that with a card like Strategic Planning. This is the sorcery that for 1 and a blue, you look at the top 3 cards of your library, you put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Or maybe you're even using something like Ipnu Rivulet,
wow.
Which is the 1 and a blue desert, the desert that for 1 and a blue you can sacrifice a desert and put 4 cards of your library into your graveyard.
That's crazy. That's going deep.
Yeah, so you're milling yourself, and then you have copies of God Pharaoh's Gift. This is the 7-mana artifact that says at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. It gains haste until end of turn.
Whew, this was a gift we were all waiting for.
Exactly, and of course it uses Gate to the Afterlife. And this is the 3-mana artifact that if you have, if you have 6 or more creature cards in your graveyard, you can sacrifice Gate to the Afterlife, go and get God Pharaoh's Gift, and just put it right into play.
Wow. This deck is nut bones. Like,
it's pretty intense.
You're milling yourself. You've got some Thraben Inspectors in there randomly. Best 1-drop, of course, that's ever existed. Although Minister of Inquiries
and when you God Pharaoh's Gift it,
yeah,
you get a 4/4.
Yeah, you just get a 4/4. So
yep,
a 1/2 that draws you a card essentially early on turns into a 4/4 later, which brings to mind Proven Combatant, which I actually like that card in limited, which is a 1/1.
Oh yeah, is that the single blue for a 1/1? Yeah. Exactly. And then you've got a card like Mausoleum Wanderer. This is the single blue, a 1/1 flying spirit. When another spirit enters the battlefield, it gets +1/+1. You can sack it to counter target instant or sorcery spell, unless its controller pays X, where X is that Wanderer's power. Which obviously, once it's a 4/4 that's been eternalized, that's, countering it unless they pay 4.
Look at Refurbish sitting in this deck as well. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Oh, great. In case, you can also mill a God Pharaoh's Gift and then just refurbish it.
Wow, my preview card finally getting some love.
Yeah, pretty great. I mean, you know what? A card like this, there was going to be a place for it at some point.
So what is Angel of Invention doing in this deck? Just to pump up your 4/4s into 5/5s?
I mean, yeah, it comes back as a flying vigilant. Like, think of it this way. It's in your graveyard, and then you bring it back with God Pharaoh's Gift, and you get a 4/4 flying vigilance lifelink haste.
Yeah, that's true.
That's giving your other creatures +1/+1, and it says Fabricate too.
Okay, I'm into it.
So, it's, it's doing a heck of a lot of work.
This deck's cool. I hope to see it at the Pro Tour. It's just really creative, and I'm glad people are brewing with crazy stuff like God Pharaoh's Gift and Gate to the Afterlife.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, and I wonder if we're going to see this.
Let's take a look at this deck, which got 2nd place in this PTQ, and it's a zombies deck that we've come to know and love that was sort of piloted. Zombies was piloted by Jerry Thompson, the winner of the last Pro Tour, and this is a little bit of a different take on it because we're going to see cards in here like none other than Amit Eternal, which is like...
That's right, which I did not notice until now is a zombie crocodile demon.
Yeah, just a zombie crocodile demon.
That's just, that's a lot of identity to wrestle with.
It really is. It's like...
You have to balance, this Amit has to balance all parts of itself.
Some days I just want to eat people, and some days I want to scare them, and some days I want to live in a swamp,
Exactly. It's like a little bit of everything.
And this card is like kind of underwhelming in limited. It's like fine, But
really, I've found it to be like pretty good.
I think it certainly can be. I've just had my opponents shrink it far too quickly. Like later in the game, it like just gets shrunken to nothing,
That's
and
true.
then you're like, oh well, I don't know.
If you're playing it late in the game, I get that it's like a little underwhelming. I think if you play this on turn 3,
oh yeah, turn 3, it's a problem.
yeah, you're just like, well, here's my 3 mana 5/5, and maybe you'll make it a 4/4, but like, okay.
So Almond Turtle showing up in this deck because in Standard, your decks are a lot more consistent than Limited. So you could get this thing out on turn 3 probably pretty consistently. At least you hope to. Then it's a 5/5,
Yeah.
and it has a flick 3. Like that's not nothing either.
No, it's certainly not.
And we see the Scarab God making an appearance in this deck, which I was wondering if we were going to see this card in Standard just because it's so good. Just so good.
It really is. So the Scarab God, it says at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you can control. Where, obviously, if you're at 5 mana and you're playing this zombies deck, you gotta think that number of zombies you control is pretty high.
Oh, yeah. This is just going to smooth out your draws. It's going to let you keep winning if you're winning, which you probably are if you're allowed to scry quite a bit because you've got a lot of zombies. Yeah. Just a super strong card and excellent addition to the zombies deck. So we'll see if this deck can still remain on top.
Yeah,
it's definitely gonna have some runs for its
looking
money.
at this is pretty exciting. This is an exciting deck. I like it.
I like it too because it's attacking with lots of creatures. You're just swarming the board. You're pumping them up with cards like who do we have here? Oh, we have Liliana. Oh, the Last Hope is here. Oh.
Ooh. Hello, Liliana, the Last Hope.
The 3-mana Liliana is making an appearance.
Yeah, pretty great. You have a card like Diregraph Colossus, which is going to give you other zombies when you cast zombies already, and then is itself going to be just huge if there are a bunch of zombies on the battlefield when it's cast.
Oh, yeah. I was expecting to see, which card was I expecting?
The 5-mana enchantment, Liliana's Mastery.
Liliana's Mastery.
Which was in the previous versions, and it looks like maybe that's been replaced by the Scarab God.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Sometimes that's the thing in Standard, your kind of your mana slots get a little bit clogged up, and you have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you couldn't be playing this Scarab God, which is 5, and also that enchantment, which is 5. That's just a lot of 5s.
Yeah.
We also see, again, 4 copies of Dark Salvation. We mentioned this before, but this is just, like, a cool card to see getting some play.
It's super sick. It just kills. It can, like, what did we say? It can kill an Ulamog.
Like, yeah, if they had enough zombies in play, which 10 is, like, an achievable number for this deck.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, you could just, like, you just -10, -10 their Ulamog. That sure doesn't care about Indestructible.
This deck that got 3rd place really quickly is one we kind of briefly mentioned on the show last week, which is Mono Red Smash and Crash.
Ooh, yeah.
With
just coming in to,
boom, boom,
deal
boom.
a bunch of damage.
The card that really stands out to me here is 4 copies of Village Messenger. I just want to point this out because who forgot about this card? Raise your hand. I sure did. It's a 1/1 for 1. It's a human werewolf. With haste. So that's, I guess, kind of relevant. If no spells were cast last turn at the beginning of each upkeep, you transform it. Transforms into what? A 2/2.
Yep, a 2/2 menace, doesn't it?
You know what? I'm not sure. Is it a 2/2 menace? I can't remember. But like we said last week, it's got Kari Zev, Hazoret the Fervent in this deck, Earthshaker Kenra, of course. 4 copies of Shock.
Menace.
It does have menace. Okay, well that makes it even more
Moonrise
relevant.
Intruder. Once again, searching it on Scryfall, there's a little transform button at the bottom.
That's so
that flips it.
But Megan, you were saying blue-red is pretty good right now. Your favorite
So
deck?
I've been playing blue-red, and you know what? I'm enjoying it because there's still a bunch of people out there playing Teamer, and I just feel, or like even now, a lot of them are just playing red-green, and I just feel good about it.
I just feel good about it.
I'm not saying that it doesn't like completely trounce it. I'm not like 2-0ing against all of these Teamer decks, or against these green-red decks or Teamer decks. But it's like I you still look at something and you're like, oh man, I'm not like 2-0ing it. So is it really that much of an advantage? Sorry, my cat is now outside trying to climb the screen on my window to get a butterfly that she saw. She just like flipped out, and she's kind of a big cat, so the screen was not enough.
I heard her in the background.
Oh my goodness. So you like, right, so you look at this and you're like, I don't know, I'm not 2-0ing them every time, so do I really have that much of an advantage? But it's if you look at a bunch of games back to back to back and you're like, well, I 2-1'd every time, but I still won, 5 out of 5 times.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, now I do feel really good about that. So yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I've got my eye on Craig Wesco this Pro Tour. Craig, deliver for me. He put up some videos on YouTube. You can check them out.
Yes.
Of him building with cats. So, fingers crossed that the deck is good.
Yep. Hold on just a second, I'm gonna let the cat in.
Speaking of cats.
Can you hear my cat?
She's coming through loud and clear on this end.
She's like 4 feet away from me and outside the window. Hold on.
Meghan's cat is just a great cat and is very vocal. And Meghan and I do believe that the cat is a reincarnation of a human because it really communicates in a human way. If you talk to it, it answers. Some of you out there in listener land may have cats like this. I certainly do. He likes to talk back. His name is Lear, but his real Welsh name is Ller. It means gray bird. Gray bird.
All right.
So yeah,
that was an exciting adventure for everybody.
a fun cat venture for us all.
Yep.
So there's a look at Standard, man, coming up ahead of the PT.
Yeah, pretty sweet,
Tune in 9 a.m. Kyoto Standard Time. Starting on Friday for the Pro Tour. 3 days of Magic action, Friday, Saturday, and the top 8 on Sunday.
Yeah, we do. News coming straight out of SDCC.
So, Meghan and I are really excited about the upcoming Unset, which was announced a couple months ago. And we just got some brand new hot and fresh details about what exactly we're going to be seeing.
Out the Magic Kitchen.
Hot and fresh out the Magic Kitchen. Unstable news. And Mark Rosewater showed off some really cool stuff at a panel there. And Meghan, I want you to guess what the highlight was for me.
Tell me, what was the highlight for you? Wait, Maria?
Yeah.
Does it start with an S and end with an S and have a quirls in between?
Anything with the quirls in the middle, is gonna get me. You got it. It was squirrels. We knew that the set was gonna have squirrels, but we saw some key art from the set, and it was a raccoon who opened its coat, and there was a bunch of squirrels living inside.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? This is my dream. I mean...
Yeah, it's like this raccoon is dealing in squirrels, as far as I can tell.
That's what it looks like. He's like, hey, wanna buy a squirrel?
Right, like he's doing exactly that. He's wearing the classic hat and coat of an alleyway dealsman.
Dealsman.
That's what they call them. Mm-hmm. Alleyway dealsman.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta say, Meghan, this raccoon looks suspiciously like you.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Interesting.
Raccoons and I have nothing in common.
So
besides our 4-fingered hands and these masks on our faces.
And your
our long
desire
pointy noses and whiskers.
To wash.
And our pointy ears. And the way we wash when we're done eating.
Yeah, that's it. That's all there is.
That's it.
Not a lot.
That's it.
Not a lot. So yeah.
I have never tipped over a person's garbage can. Not once in my life.
Do you ever accidentally knock over a tiny garbage can with your foot and you're like, oh no, it's happening?
I don't. I decline to answer.
Interesting. Well, just take the inferences from
Anyways,
that as I will.
Oh, what are we talking about?
Oh yes, unstable, and this great scroll art that they released. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Maria, they also had a bunch of other sweet images that are telling us a little bit about the different factions that are happening on this unstable world.
Yeah, apparently this is kind of like a steampunk world. It's a mad scientist situation with a bunch of different mad scientists.
Excuse me, everyone. We have a mad scientist situation. We need to deal with this mad scientist situation.
Can you see me pitching a movie? It's like this mad scientist situation.
Yeah.
And there's five factions of different kinds of mad scientists in the world, and we saw images from each of the factions. Let's go down the list.
What is your? I was gonna say first. Tell me, let's start with what's your favorite faction?
My favorite faction. Taking a look here. I'm kind of into the. I'm kind of into the green-white faction, which is Crossbreed Labs. And
those are the ones that like humans that are combining themselves with animals.
Yeah, so it's like a human plus a deer, or a squirrel plus an antelope.
Or in this one, a human plus a spider plus a lemur.
Ooh, I want to go take a look at that. I'm not looking at that right now. Oh yeah, that's bizarre looking.
Right? That's like several animals already, and it looks like they're about to, down another one.
Yep. There's another animal in that bottle, and it's going into their body.
And it's going.
Man, if I could have a lemur tail, that's all.
Would you?
If I could have a tail, absolutely I would have a tail. But I would have a squirrel tail. No question.
Okay, but wait. So let's say this is a world that's exactly like ours, so it's not accommodating to people with tails.
I guess I would just have to buy some kind of like stretchy pants so I could shove my tail down in it.
Like, would you would still do it?
Great question. I guess maybe not. It would just be so fun though. I think this is part of the reason why I love the Andorians in Star Trek, because they have their two little niblets on top, and antenna is the word I was looking for that didn't come out. And they betray kind of their emotions, and I think like a squirrel's tail is like the same kind of thing where it's like I'm mad, or it's like I'm a happy tail, or it's like I'm a sad tail, and it's just big and fluffy, and it's like a bed. It's a bed attached to your body, like it's just a nice little fluffy pillow you can pull up and sleep on.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah, Crossbreed Labs is where I'm headed. Meghan, which one of these speaks to you?
Mine is definitely the Agents of Sneak.
Great name.
100%. I'm all about it. These are the spies that are not good at being spies.
I don't see why they'd not be good. That retractable claw arm seems pretty
That's
sweet.
like pretty sweet. This is very Inspector Gadget, what this image has got going on here.
Yeah, and this is the Demir guild, so this is black-blue.
Yeah. And I'm just all about this hat. It's like it's very goth Carmen Sandiego.
Oh yeah, it is. Absolutely. You've got like an eyeball coming out of your shoulder. That's pretty sweet too.
Yeah, pretty sick. And what looks like just essentially a giant electric drill. I guess, no, it's more like a grappling hook. Never mind, it's a grappling hook.
The other factions we have are white-blue, which is the Order of the Widget, which is like Esper with no self-control. So it's kind of like, if I want to make something, why don't I just, put it on my body instead of actually making it or something like that.
I think that they're like, so they're Azorius, so they're all about like law and order, but they're really just, chasing it.
Yeah, this guy, he looks like he's made himself into a robot. Kind of situation. Or
he's like an old inspector robot.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool.
Old inspector robot.
I think that's the show.
Yeah, you remember that show, Old Inspector Robot?
Black Red is the League of Dastardly Doom. They're supervillains that want to make doomsday machines. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's really Rakdos.
That's pretty cool. I'm
down with that.
Very Rakdos.
And Green Red.
Goblin Explosioneers.
That seems very
That sounds about right
red.
for goblins.
Yeah.
Yep, that seems That seems correct for goblins.
We got confirmed as well that we're going to get our full art lands. So I'm sorry, Megan, we're not going to have full text lands like you were hoping for.
I really was, honestly. So as soon as someone said that, I was like, yeah, I'd be all about that.
And it was confirmed, finally, that Mark Rosewater has made his dreams come true. Contraptions have been realized and will be in this set. Steam Flogger Boss is going to be an unstable and will be a black bordered card. So that's pretty
exciting.
Awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm happy that it finally happened. So
I can't wait to see what happens with our contraptions.
I know, and it's unstable, so like they can get really crazy with it.
Yeah, they can. They can get real exciting.
The last cool thing that they announced was that there's going to be foil tokens. So that, you know what that says to me?
What?
Foil squirrel tokens.
Maria.
Yeah.
I believe in that for you.
Thank you. I love the idea of foil tokens. I think that they should be foiled and they should be in packs like you would normally get a foil or whatever. But
you wish that it was just a regular thing.
Yeah, like not replacing the foil in your pack, but like replacing the token, so you could potentially get a foil token. So I'm all about foil tokens coming in and unstable.
Yeah, very cool.
I hope there's a raccoon sub-theme for you, Megan.
You know, a girl can dream. A raccoon can dream.
I mean,
a raccoon girl can dream.
Not that
what
you're
am I saying?
a raccoon.
Nothing. Never mind. No, not that I am. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, purely hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you want to eat some trash?
What? No. Yes? Wait, what kind of trash? I mean, that question doesn't have any relevance because the answer is unilaterally no matter what. Mm-hmm. But, like, do you want to tell me what kind of trash it is? Just for people who are wondering?
Yeah, like, some, like, an old vine of grapes, but, like, there's, like, a couple grapes still on it.
What? Why would you throw away perfectly good grapes? I mean, no, that belongs in the trash.
Yeah.
And trash shouldn't be touched. Other people's trash is their business, and not my business. So, yeah. I guess that settles that.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Sure does. Sure does.
Huh. Man, I wonder what I'm going to eat for lunch. Where's this hypothetical trash you're talking about?
I mean,
Was this just a thought experiment?
Anywhere in the city, really.
Oh, okay.
Take your pick.
Oh, all right. I mean, not that I would, but good joke.
Right. Well, humans and raccoons and squirrels, that's Magic the Amateuring for this
robot
week.
overlords and rats at their right-hand sides.
Yes. All of the above. Thank you for listening to this episode while impending doom is happening outside your window.
That's right. What would you do, supposing that the world were going to end tomorrow? Let us know. Twitter, @MTAcast.
Shoot us a tweet. You can also check out every episode of the show that's ever happened on magictheamateuring.com. Become a patron at patreon.com/MTAcast. Visit our amazing sponsor.
Be one of the people who literally makes the show happen.
Yes. Do you want to be somebody who is holding us up like this with your arms?
You are the gasoline to this finely tuned engine.
You know how Magic players say something is gas a lot? Well, you're our gas.
That's right. You could be the leftover grapes to some raccoon.
Patreon.com/MTAcast. And thank you, of course, to our sponsor, CardKingdom.com/MTAcast, who's just added on some new members to the Card Kingdom family. And you can find out who they are if you go to their website and support some more amazing Magic content creators. So welcome our new people to the family, and thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting us. Be sure to visit them for all of your magical needs because they really are the best place to buy cards, and they really do hire and employ the best people in the game and really care about customer service. So thank you to them for supporting us, and thank you to you in advance for using our affiliate link, cardkingdom.com/MTAcast, because that is the only way they will know that you support our show and their sponsorship of it. Woo! Well, Megan, are you gonna curl up with some pizza rolls and watch this PT this weekend, or what?
Yeah, I sure am. And they sure won't be other people's pizza rolls.
Uh-oh.
They'll be mine. They'll be my pizza rolls.
Everybody, if you've thrown out any kind of pizza rolls in your garbage cans,
what is wrong with you?
Put a lock on that bad boy, because I think a certain someone's coming for
Locking up your trash is for monsters.
The look in your eye right now it really betrays your human disguise. That's all I've got to say. Head to youtube.com/MTAcast, by the way, to see that look in Megan's eye. Or to see our brand new PSA, which is about not getting 2 for 1.